absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is my first video. Really, I just wanted a place where I can talk about books. So I decided to try to make a video. Maybe someone else is interested in whatever I'm talking about at the moment. So today I'm going to be talking about the new release from Kingfisher. I did give her other two books, What Moves the Dead and The Hollow Places. I gave both of these a 5-star. So I decided to pre-order her book, which was released on March 28th. I didn't read anything about the description. I just saw that she came out with a new book and I was like, I'm definitely getting this one. I'm almost done. I have about 100 pages left. Usually with the books, even if it's like an author I haven't heard of, if I look at the cover and I see that it's something that I might like, or if I like the title, sometimes I'll read a little bit of the description, but I usually don't read a full description. And I try not to read reviews or listen to any reviews about it. I just like to go in it blind. And that's what I did for this one. This story is about a woman who went through some life issues and she had to move back home with her mom. The house that she moved in, her grandmother originally owned, and then the mother moved back in, and then the daughter had to come back in as well. So there are some strange things that are going on in the house. They have the grandmother, Grandma is what they called her. Grandma was really into roses and she had a beautiful rose garden. So the granddaughter, who is an archaeoentomologist, she studied bugs, she knows a lot about bugs. So she realized that in her grandmother's or grandma's rose garden, there were no bugs around, which is strange. You know, if you know about gardens, you know that bugs are essential to a garden. You need them. You need that life in the garden that lets you know that you have a healthy garden, depending on what types of bugs you have, especially ladybugs and bumblebees. Certain worms, you'll need those. So she noticed that there weren't any. She noticed that there weren't any bugs in the garden. So this was one of the first suspicious things that she noticed about being back at the home. She also noticed that, you know, just throughout the story, there would be a vulture just sitting on the mailbox, just watching. The vulture would never come close to them, but it would just be in the background watching. And sometimes there'll be 2 or 3 vultures around. So I haven't figured out what that's for yet, but I kind of have an idea. So you see, I like to add my little sticky notes. So I have a few ideas and I'm trying to figure it out as we go. And I'm going. So again, her home, her rose garden doesn't have any bugs, but she goes down to the neighbors and she sees that there's just bugs everywhere. So it's a very healthy, thriving garden. A few of the things that have happened are kind of throwing me off. Okay, this sounds a little bit familiar. This sounds kind of like what happens in What Moves the Dead. So I'm like, okay, I really hope that she didn't make it too similar. Let me go to one of these notes that I have. It's just some of the things that happened during her sleep and some of the behaviors of the mom that are making it seem kind of similar. So hopefully there's a twist at the end that'll show that it's not the same. It is completely different, but it's kind of trending in that direction. All right, so I have my little hints and my little ideas of what could be happening. I have that throughout the book. I usually don't mind writing on my pages, but on this one, I just wanted to use sticky notes instead of writing in it, but I might write it in it when I do a reread. I like throughout the book, she describes different roses. So I really like how Kingfisher does her research when it comes to different parts of nature. And she did that in her last book as well. She knew a lot about mushrooms. So in this one, she talks about roses. So this was when I was kind of suspicious. I was like, I had a little note right here. I said, Miss Kingfisher, we're going to have problems if this ending is similar to What Moves the Dead. That was earlier in the book. I am now on page 148. And you see here, I'm officially creeped out and confused. So the story has changed just a little bit and it's heading in a different direction. And I'm looking forward to finishing this today and letting you all know what I think about the ending. Of course, there won't be any spoilers, so I'll be back later. Hi, welcome back. So I left off by saying that I thought that the book was similar to T. Kingfisher's previous horror book, What Moves the Dead. But thankfully there was a bit of a twist. It was slightly predictable. So I took notes throughout, and I was writing down clues to help me figure out possibly what the ending was. There was a plot twist towards the end. I say that was pretty good. That was interesting. I definitely wasn't expecting that. I may have hyped it up too much in my head, because although it was a good book, it was a different ending. It wasn't what I was expecting. It didn't quite wow me or thrill me. It's an average read. Nothing wrong with it. I do like her writing style for her horror. I do have a kind of weak stomach, so if you're like me, towards the end, you might not want to eat during her last few chapters, because there was something in here that might make your stomach a little bit queasy if you have a weak stomach. So I wouldn't recommend eating. Definitely don't eat any shrimp or anything that looks like shrimp. I do think that this was a good book, and I do recommend it. I wouldn't say that it's going to be a 5-star for me. A good light horror choice if you're into that. It's not too scary. It's not something that'll keep you up, make you have nightmares. A few things in her horror books that are just slightly creepy, but it's not too much to where you'll be afraid to go to sleep at night.